Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to the Library Tour of Doom, a library tour that was conceived by Lord Ganesha and myself in order to take you through every book in my library one at a time. We've barely scratched the surface. We have thousands more of these videos to go. We're not even at the Library Tour of Doom number 100. So who knows how long this will take. Today we are going back just to last year, just to 2020, to a book that at the time I read it, it disappointed me. And I think it disappointed a lot of people because it just wasn't as interesting as people were thinking that the subject really was. And that's this. It's Philippa Chong's book, Inside the Critic's Circle. Book reviewing in uncertain times. This is a little book about book reviewing. The craft of it, the life of a pitching freelancer, the travails of a book editor trying to line up the right book with the right reviewer, the mechanics of the endeavor, the politics of the endeavor. Do you review somebody you know? Do you review somebody in your same genre if you are also a writer? All those kinds of questions that people who aren't reviewers are often fascinated by, and I'm fascinated by them too. It's my profession. It's my world. And I wasn't the only book critic I talked to in 2020 who found this a lifeless thing. Far too many of the quotes are not attributed. And you can understand that because a lot of freelancers don't want to go on record with their name in case they cheese off the wrong person. But it lends the book a kind of tentative feel that I didn't want it to have. A lot of the subjects in here are the bread and butter of my life. They're the things the issues that I think about literally every day, and yet I struggled to stay interested in the book. And it wasn't Philippa Chong's fault, I don't think. Her prose is brisk enough. It's just that I read it, and my very first thought was sort of predictable. My very first thought was how I would like a book 3 times this size, but exactly this way, this thematically laid out, about freelance and professional book criticism from, rather than 2020, let's say 1920. A lot of the principles would be exactly the same. 1 or 2 of the people are still alive, but there'd be no reason in a book on 1920 or 1940 or 1960. There'd be no reason to pull punches. There'd be no reason to skirt around naming names or identifying people and relating scandalous stuff, which is the big thing that's missing from this book because of its circumspect approach. The scandalous stuff. The editors or the writers who lie about a conflict of interest, the editors who know about a conflict of interest but want a hatchet job anyway and are willing to skirt the ethics, and on and on and on. That aspect of that whole world isn't really in this book. And if you took the idea of this book, the conceptual framework of it, and just moved it back to 1960 or 1940 or 1920, then I think you could do a lot more justice to. And the thing, it hasn't changed much in that time, except for slightly more inroads made by publishers into viewing reviewers as sort of an adjunct to their marketing department, whereas that wasn't always quite so explicit 50 years ago or 150 years ago. But one way or another, whatever is missing, whatever caused the elements to be missing, something definitely is. This didn't gel for me in the way that it should have. Obviously, right? The title and the subject, obviously this should have been my favorite book of the year. And it wasn't. It wasn't at all. And when I was fishing this off the shelf for today's Library Tour of Doom, I kind of thought that maybe that might be a good reason to revisit this, to read it again, and see if maybe it has more teeth, more heft than I thought it did. I don't think so. I think I was looking very closely for that. I'd have been very happy with anything that I saw, and I don't think it was there in the way that I want it to be. Now, I don't know how much of that is personal. Naturally, everybody thinks their own profession is the most interesting thing in the world. But I honestly do believe, I mean, I talked to enough people about this book, but I honestly do believe that it was a bit of a misfire, that it really didn't do justice to the interest of the subject involved. But maybe a reread will change my mind on that. So, as is often the case, both with the Daily Penguin last year and with the Library Tour of Doom this year, the focus that I throw on a book is causing me to maybe think about reading it again. That would be tactically a very, very bad decision for this week, because this week is brutal. Brutal for reading and writing and editing. A brutal week. If I can make it to Wednesday or Thursday, I will be patting myself on the back. If I can do that. And you might be saying, some of you might be saying, well, if it's that brutal, then why are you making 2 hours of videos a day? To which I say, zip it. Zip. I'll chat with you if I bloody well feel like it. I have more time than you do, keep in mind. At 9:30, when you can barely keep your poor little lamb eyes open. Is it time to go to bed yet? Oh, how many Twitter posts have I seen from 20-something people? People who are 50 years younger than I am. How many Twitter posts have I seen from people saying, is 6:30 too early to go to bed? Right around that time, I'm planning what my next 6 hours are going to be like. Okay? So I can make videos if I want to. Anyway. Can you believe the disrespect, Lord Ganesha? Yeah. He doesn't care about this or pretty much anything except the ladies. He cares about them. And they, weirdly, care about him. Anyway, that's your book for today, Inside the Critic Circle. I can't give it a glowing recommendation, but maybe a reread will change that. So I'm going to wrap this up for now, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.